Politics is a very interesting game. And politics is also full of propaganda. And that's why politicians always invest heavily in propaganda. For example, in the last election, Jubilee Party invested heavily on propaganda. And two gentlemen became the face of Jubilee propaganda. Dennis Itumbi and Mutahi Ngunyi. And yesterday something interesting happened. Mutahi Ngunyi's house in Runda, where he has lived for the last 27 years, went into flames. And the first person who tweeted about that fire was actually Dennis Itumbi. And from the reaction from Mutahi Ngunyi, I got interested in knowing or trying to understand the objective between those two tweets. Because personally, I always believe that nothing happens out of mere coincidence. This house caught fire very early in the morning, and according to Mutahi Ngunyi, the first person who tweeted about it was Dennis Itumbi. And I've gone through Dennis Itumbi's tweets, and there is something which I think I'm missing. I want you to help me listen to this tweet, especially the tone. Dennis Itumbi is saying, this was after, just a few minutes after the fire. Now he was posting online, which in my view was okay. But I have a problem with the tone of his tweet. Dennis Itumbi is saying, "Dear fire brigades, please rush and save Mutahi Ngunyi's Ronda's house from fire," which is okay up to that place. Nairobi Metropolitan Services, quick action for a guy who supports you, if nothing else. You see, I don't understand why he's saying that, because whether you support the Nairobi Metropolitan Services or not, when a fire like this happens, then ideally they should respond. And if they don't respond, then the question which should be asked is why they didn't respond on time. Maybe because they can't respond on time because of their inefficiency. But Dennis Itumbi is saying here, a guy who supports you if nothing else. And he's continuing, hope the man is safe and family okay. Other than the tweet, I can only pray that you suffer the least damage and be safe. So that was the tweet by Dennis Itumbi, which was okay in my view, but it had certain, I have a feeling the tweet had certain information about it, about the whole thing. Now, then Mutahi Ngunyi came and responded. And this is why I want us to go into the details about this whole thing. Mutahi Ngunyi is saying, my friend Dennis Itumbi, my house in Rwanda for 27 years went on fire at 1:45 a.m. You told the hustlers at 2:01 a.m. About 16 minutes later. That is after I talked about Kiambaa violence of 2008 on the 5th estate. Here is a better picture than the one you posted. Enjoy. Now again, if you listen keenly to Mutahi Ngunyi's tweet, he's coming up with the element of Kiambaa violence, talking about it on the 5th estate, and he's going further to give Dennis Itumbi, just to confirm that the house went into flames, to give Dennis Itumbi a clear photo of that house. Itumbi and Mutahi Ngunyi worked very closely during the last election. They are actually buddies. Itumbi was the chief propagandist, I mean, I want to assume that the guy who was crafting all this for Jubilee, the last election, was actually Mutahi Ngunyi. But he used to give this narrative to Itumbi to share outside there. Today, they are in two different camps. But what am I getting out of these tweets? Because Mutahi Ngunyi is suggesting that his house went on fire just after he spoke about Kiambaa. And you know, Kiambaa is a word which is common on people's tongues today because they are going for a by-election today. Before we go into these details, I want you to take a second or two and click subscribe button so that next time you produce a video like this, YouTube will notify you. And to the subscribers, please, I want to thank you guys for your support. Now, let me be very brief. What is my understanding of this tweet? Mutahi Ngunyi's house. I want to assume that probably Mutahi Ngunyi's house just caught fire. Or someone came and touched it. In this country, you can't rule out anything. Or maybe Mutahi Ngunyi just wanted something out of it. So in my view, the first thing, I think Mutahi Ngunyi wanted a way of invoking Kiambaa Church to influence the outcome of Kiambaa election. Campaign period had just ended, so people were just relaxed. Then he mentions Kiambaa Church. Now, Kiambaa Church is in Eldoret, the hometown of the Deputy President William Ruto. There is a by-election in Kiambaa, the main place where these guys came from, because Kiambaa Church in Eldoret is actually named after Kiambaa. Like you see those Kisumundogo, places named Kisumundogo, is actually where most people from Kisumu stay. And Kiambaa Church is one thing which is always haunting the Deputy President William Ruto. So this guy is trying to come up or bring up the issue of Kiambaa Church, in my view, was part of a strategy to try to influence the voters down there in Kiambaa. I don't know, but something tells me. Number two, I think maybe Mutahi Ngunyi wanted to promote his channel. You know, but again, I don't think, because if you look at the YouTube, Mutahi Ngunyi's YouTube channel is one of the biggest in terms of viewership, even in terms of credibility. In fact, those who follow politics, who wants to have a deeper understanding of politics, always look up to Mutahi Ngunyi's post. Personally, I never miss his post because they are deep. There are certain things you get. As much as sometimes you don't agree with Mutahi Ngunyi, one thing you must give to him is that his channel is very deep. Even if it's propaganda, very deep propaganda. If it's content, very deep. If it's about messaging, normally they have a way of getting those messaging very deeply, unlike some of us. So I think maybe he just wanted to promote his channel. But why would that house go into flames just to promote a channel? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm also ruling out that. Number three, I think he wanted to drag the name of William Ruto in all these schemes. And it's dragging the name of William Ruto because of Itumbi. The mere fact that Itumbi was the first to post 16 minutes. So he's suggesting, in my view, that probably these guys, because Itumbi is the hustler spokesperson, these guys planned to burn his house, sent people to burn, then these guys took photos and shared with Itumbi immediately. And that's why Itumbi shared these photos out. And that's why Mutahi Ngunyi is now telling Itumbi that the photos you have are not clear. Probably they're not taken from, they were taken in a hurry. So they're not clear. Let me give you a clear photo. So I tend to think he just wanted to drag the name of the DP in this because of Kiambaa. The truth is, when you talk of Kiambaa in this country, we are talking of 2007 post-election violence. Ruto was the biggest enemy of the Kikuyu nation during that time. And he's saying that the Kiambaa of the video, because of the video he made, Ruto now went, organized people, or his supporters organized people to go and burn his house, sent to Itumbi just to confirm that wamemaliza kazi. Number 4, I think it's probably propaganda, 2022 propaganda. In this country, I don't think there's anybody who is smart in messaging, political messaging, than Mutahi Ngunyi. I don't think there is any other person smarter than him. In 2013, he came up with the tyranny of numbers. That's what Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto used to steal the election in that election. Again, after the last election, just before the handshake, he came out with this hustler narrative, dismantling the dynasties just to block Raila Odinga. By that time, he was still working for Ruto. Again, that hustler narrative today is spreading in this country like bushfire. So maybe he started coming up with a new propaganda. Let us wait and see how it's going to unfold. Lastly, I tend to think maybe it was natural cause. But what would cause a fire at 7:45 a.m.? You never rule out, but let us wait and see how all this situation is going to unfold. Because losing a house like Mutahi Ngunyi's house, that big house, I don't think is something is going to take lightly. Probably even the system, the deep state, will try to investigate the real cause of that fire. Thank you guys, and please, if you're watching this channel for the first time, take a second or two, click the subscribe button, and to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.